Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the ARTyRV
Hi guys.
live stream tonight. It's glass night. Yay,
Ooh,
finally.
It's Monday, and the whole East Coast is expecting a slammer of a storm tonight and tomorrow, so hold on guys.
I said hello to everyone, but I missed a few people that just came in. Anita, Donna, Joyce, Nadia, and Ray. Hello.
Hey guys.
How are you doing?
Thanks for tuning in tonight. It's Monday.
Welcome everyone. Brenda's here. So,
Hope everybody had a great weekend. Super Bowl's over. Now, if you didn't go to work today, well, that's okay because neither did 61 million other people. So,
Carol R. said it's her birthday. Happy birthday,
happy
Carol
birthday. Hold on,
R.
Carol. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Carol R. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Thanks
Carol.
for tuning in tonight, Carol.
So you didn't know you were going to get subjected to that now, did you?
You can erase it.
We might be censored, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope they don't shut our channel down.
Karen's here.
Hey, Karen. It's good to see you this weekend, hon. I hope you had a good time. Class was awesome this weekend. We had a full class. Not only did Karen drive for 5 hours to come take our class this weekend, but Terry Deal and her daughter, Kaylee, drove all the way from Orlando, Florida on Friday night to take our class Saturday and Sunday. You guys are troopers, and thank you so much. I hope you had a good time. It was enjoyable meeting you guys, and stick with us.
It was really great meeting you guys. I hope you recovered. Ed really, really worked them hard, but they made some beautiful little patterns.
And we'll have some pictures
and
coming up.
panels, and we'll show those next week when I get back to work again.
Yeah, you know, when you do the 5 days and then the weekend, we definitely took today off. So
yeah, we did the 7-day thing, so we took today off, and here we are. So I hope you guys are bundled up for that storm that's coming up. I hope you have a lot of heat and blankets and candles and whatever you need.
Well, no candles.
No candles, but flashlights.
Flashlights, yeah.
And what do you use? These the battery
Well,
operated.
battery operated, votive candles,
yeah,
anything.
not real ones.
LED, crank up batteries, whatever you need.
Generator,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
outside generators if you need electricity, but definitely we all know about candles. Let's not use those.
So please be safe, and let's
Yeah,
go
so
through
hey
this.
guys, if you got a question tonight, go ahead and put it in the chat. Put a Q in front of it so Barb can pick it up, and we'll get started with some questions if you have any. If not, we'll just fill up some time and talk, and you can look at Barb and I.
Yeah. I hope you have your Valentine's plans
It's
made.
Valentine's this
coming
week.
up
And
Wednesday.
Your sweater is so raspberry
and I have my Valentine's
beautiful.
earrings in.
I know, her hearts and her ears just make me go crazy.
My heart's in my ears. Is that what you?
Yeah, your earrings have hearts
Yeah.
in the center of them.
Yes.
And they're actually raspberry because they match her sweater. So.
Yes. Yes.
And this is one of my favorite colors, in case you guys didn't know.
Yeah, pink. He likes pink.
I'll wear it.
Okay. Oh, I'm exhausted. How about you?
What a day.
What a day. Okay. From Baltimore.
Hey.
I mean, Minnesota. We've got people in here from Canada. All over the place.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for tuning in.
New Mexico.
Huh?
New Mexico.
Yeah, oh gosh.
Okay. Pauline has a question.
Okay, Pauline, how are you, dear? It's good to see you, hon.
Pauline asks, there are some people who put some type of metal around the old ornaments. I don't know what it is. I know it breaks easy. Do you know?
It's probably what they call a filigree, which is a stamped out, really thin piece of copper or brass. And but I wouldn't know how they would attach it around an old ornament. Normally, those filigree things are kind of what you would see if you were making a like an ornament out of a foam ball and putting fabric over it, and then you put that filigree over top of that. But I've never heard of anybody, Pauline, attaching it to excuse me, to old Christmas ornaments though. So I wouldn't know how to put you in the right direction on that because I haven't.
In other words, he has no idea.
I have no clue. But it's called
That was a long
filigree.
way around to say I don't know.
It's filigree, Pauline.
It's filigree, though. He does know that.
I know that. It's definitely filigree.
Okay. There's another question here. Hopefully you know this one.
Do.
Okay.
It's all, there you go.
What brand of solder would you recommend?
So, hey,
This is
Robert, there's a couple good brands of solders out there. I like to use White Metals. They don't have any trash in them. Canfield's going to cost a little bit more, but it's definitely probably the cleanest of all of the solders. But the American White Metals is really a good solder. And remember, 60-40 for copper foil work, 50-50 for lead is fine. Simply because you don't need 60-40 on lead, and the 60-40 solder is about $3 or $4 more a roll. So, but yeah, you would want to use the Victory White Metals, Canfield. Amerway is a good, inexpensive solder. But once you get beyond those three right there, you have to be careful and definitely never ever use a rosin core flux a rosin core solder, because that is designed for electronics. And we're going to talk a little something about that next week, about people using electronic solder that's designed for electronics, and then wondering why their irons are coming untinned. So we're going to address that next week. So, right?
If you say so.
That's right. Let me write that down.
Go ahead.
I just thought it was a good idea because we talked about it earlier today.
Well, I don't think that. My advice is, if you're going to do stained glass, go to your local retail stained glass store, or we can recommend several glass companies that are online that you can count on to carry the good quality products you need. So, stained glass made for
stained glass. Yeah. So be and sometimes you might find at a yard sale, you find a big old box of solder. Well, that guy used to put electronic radios together. Just don't give them their $5.
Right.
You don't want it that. So, but anyway, Amerway, Canfield, Victory White Metals.
Jules said she got her snickerdoodles, aka silberschnitz. She likes them. They make clean breaks, and she thanks you for pointing to a great tool.
Oh, well, and thank you. I'm glad you got a pair, and I'm glad that you like them.
You're enjoying them, because
there's a lot of people are enjoying them. A lot of people. So.
Okay, Kat St. Jane asked, have you ever used rub and buff on your decorative solder? It gets down in crevices with different colors. No,
we have not.
Rub and buff.
Oh, we'll try that because Barbara's finishing. She's going to be finishing up part 2 of the decorative soldering
and
video.
3 at the same
and 3 at the same time. But it's all good because everything is now everything's in line. It's all good.
Well, what usually we think takes a month or a week usually takes us 6 months or 9 months.
But there's always something.
But we'll get there. We're not
just lollygagging around, goofing off while we're trying to.
No, things happen.
I mean, we're working all the time.
You got an eyelash inside.
Oh, okay. We're working all the time. We don't have to make anything up. I can promise you that.
We have so much going on. It's unbelievable.
It's crazy. And so we'll just take a minute and say hi to Terry in case she's just not checked in tonight down in Florida, and just say hello to her and her daughter. Thank you guys again for coming up.
And
hope you had a good time. And Karen.
I hope you recover, Karen.
Yeah, so thank you guys again for a wonderful weekend. We had a good time.
He worked them hard. Okay, let's see. Question. Do you have to stretch brass and zinc cane the same way you do lead?
Absolutely. No, you don't.
No, you don't, Michelle.
You don't. Mm-hmm. It's already, it's there.
And thank you for those sweet words on YouTube, Michelle. She left us a lot of really sweet comments and asked some questions, and I have to go back and look at the video because some of them I
right. And a lot of times that you guys comment on us or compliment us and everything, you guys are just way too kind, and thank you so much.
Okay.
But no, you don't have to stretch your brass cane or your lead cane that has. Now they do, and we talked about this past weekend. They do make a lead cane that has a restrip in the center of it, in case you need, some sort of invisible structure inside. They make the lead with the restrip inside of it, and it cuts just like regular lead. Just takes a little bit more to bend it, but other than that, you're good. Yeah.
Okay, another question. Well, Jules said, I have found Pro Glass solder works well also. Okay. Okay, Michelle. I saw that name, but I wasn't sure if it was that.
Yeah, because we haven't tried it, so I don't want,
Okay, that's good to know. Michelle wants to know, do you need to add more thinner and time to your glazing compound if you need to put more paint in after you wait overnight?
No. What usually may happen is if it might be a little bit too much lacquer, so you may end up putting a little bit more putty in it, but you want that consistency of pudding before it goes in the refrigerator. That's what you want to use. That's the consistency. So when we measured it out on our recipe, we came up with 2 cups of putty, and we used about 1 cup of the lacquer thinner, and then we used about 2 or 3 tablespoons of the black paint, and that kind of did it. But once you get that set overnight, then you may need to add a little bit of, and if you have to add glazing compound the next day, you don't have to let it set overnight. Just pound it up, chunk it up, and get that consistency the way you want it. Now keep your lid on it, and if you don't use it all, before you use it again, you can add a little bit of lacquer thinner and thin that up, and it'll continue to be usable for you.
Okay, Jan has a good question.
Oh!
I have a pair of silver Schnitt running pliers, and the pads are oriented incorrectly. Rather than messing with them or returning them, is there any reason why I can't use them upside down?
If you can remember to use them upside down every time you pick them up, it's no problem. However, I will tell you this. These are my silver Schnitts, and if Barbara will drop over to the close-up camera, I'll tell you how to switch them over in about 1 second. So here we go. You ready? 1, 2. Here comes the close-up camera. Take your top nut, slide it out. Take your bottom nut, slide it out. Switch them over and lock them right back in place. And then you can use them. And it's much easier to remember when the logo's on the top and then trying to say, oh, well, that's not right. Ah! Just go ahead and switch them over. It takes like 2 minutes, but you don't have to.
Karen says, drill Sergeant Ed. You know, his dad was a sergeant in the Air Force. He has a lot of rules. But anyway, he's a good teacher.
I think they're all good rules.
They're good rules.
And no one got hurt. So what can we do about that? We can be happy. No one was hurt.
Okay.
And we made 3, y'all.
Robert,
we made
you can just
3
rewind.
Beautiful windows. Yeah.
Robert, you could just rewind for that if you want to. Okay. Michelle, is it true that you can get poisoned if you use colored plates or glasses? Not that I know of. Finally
Colored
made it
plates
to
or glasses.
Magali's here.
Hey, Magali. Hey.
Hey, Magali.
It's good to see you. I'm glad you're well, hon. Our friend that came up from Orlando and took our class this weekend, she's looking for some sort of a supplier for sheet glass, and if it's okay with you, I could put her in touch with you. She lives over in Orlando, so she's, I don't know, what is she, probably 2 hours from you maybe? But she's looking for suppliers in sheet glass in the area. So she, apparently her people in Orlando are not available any longer. So, but if it's okay, just let us know. You know how to get in touch with us, Magali. Let us know a number that I can have her contact you at.
Okay. Can you bend zinc, Michelle? Can you bend zinc or brass and use it inside of your piece like you do lead? You
can, but you can't bend it like lead. You really should. You need a cane bender, and you're very limited to the diameter that you can get, just because of the stiffness of it. So you can. What I found is zinc is very rigid and lead is very forgiving, and when you mix the two together, the solder joints work apart because one's moving and one's not. So what I found by using zinc inside the window and incorporating it with lead is that eventually it'll come apart.
Okay.
Even total zinc doors, eventually will work.
Okay?
I just had to take a breath. I'm sorry. And so eventually they work themselves loose a little bit. So.
Pat them on the back.
Oh, give me a cough here.
Okay. Question. Nadia says, I went to your store in Amazon for a pair of Silberschnitz, but they send me to other sellers. Yes, they will send you to the available sellers. I pick the seller. It'll take you from my Amazon store to the seller that we bought from. So it'll take you to
So we still get a small 2 or 3 cent commission on that, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
But you get your Silberschnitz, and that's
and
probably...
there's no extra cost to you. So we get such a small commission. It's not like we actually sell it to you. We show you where we bought it, and then you buy it from them. So that's how it works. And we get like 2%. So there you go. But we try to find the best, that's where we buy a lot of our
because I think they were on sale the month of January for $63.
So I saw that.
Yeah.
I put it on our Amazon page.
Right.
And there's other places to buy. That's just one place that we do have things that you can buy. Robert 6040 Canfield is a good one. Yes, Ray. Thank you.
Yeah,
that is it.
Yeah, and see, that's coming from Ray. Ray does clocks.
Ray does it. Ray knows.
Right. Ray does.
Melanie's here. Hi, Melanie.
Hey, Melanie.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's good. Hey, Mel. Nice to see you.
Okay. Stained glass DIY. Hey. How are you? What in the world? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
Good to hear from you. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
We've missed you out there, so I'm glad you stopped in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for saying hello to us.
Could you please talk about the principles for designing successful pieces, visually pleasing and nicely balanced? That's a long one.
That is that's really a good question.
That's really a good video.
That would be a really good video because, most of the time, because of Barbara and I we do a lot of commissions. So we're always interested in what the customer has to tell us about what we need to be, what they want to see in each individual window. So the initial consultation for Barbara and I, whether it be at their home, which is usually the second consultation, but the first one's usually here, so that we get an idea of what they're looking for
and their budget. And
if then we can leave the building once we get those two things straightened out. And really, the main thing is the budget. And then the second thing with us is time frame. Now we have people waiting right now for that we won't start their windows for probably 6 months. But they're waiting, and they want to wait, and they continue to sign up for the program, and we love them. So we're busy, we're happy as we can be, and so our second consultation will be to go to their home and then see what they're talking about, and so because we don't want to lock them into anything in their house, the windows should be something they can work around, rather than something that they got to worry about, we can't use that color in the house because look at the stained glass window that we have. We can't do that. So there's a lot of variables that you take into consideration. And I can't say that we're absolutely the best at it, but we are really good at taking care of pleasing the customer aesthetically and giving them exactly what they want.
And B, you've got a good start because you know that it needs to be visually pleasing and nicely balanced.
Right.
And so if you keep that in mind when you're planning your colors and your lines, your lead lines or your copper foil lines, if it's pleasing to your eyes, visually pleasing and balanced.
Borders, dark, light, dark, dark, medium, light, texture,
the mood,
smooth,
the mood of the window,
the light, where the light comes in the morning and where it comes in the evening, because we all know stained glass is its truest color right at sunset and sunrise, not when it has intense bright light, hot spots on it, but when the light is cool in the morning and when the light is cool in the evening is its most attractive. and it's and its best color, its truest color.
Okay, another question. Yeah, so MB, that's a long-winded, but
It really is. But
it's a long
as
discussion.
you do it, as you do more windows and listen to more customers, it becomes even easier for you to do what they want to do. I promise you, it really does.
Okay, Aarontown, question: when going over a solder line to smooth it out, should I be adding more flux?
No, and really you shouldn't be. If you're doing a touch and go solder, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. When you do that, each time you touch and go, it leaves like a little horizontal line in the solder. But if you'll go back, you don't need more flux and you don't need more solder. You'll go back and turn your iron on its edge, set it down, and watch the solder melt behind it, and then just pull at this speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and by the time you get down to this end, you have a professional bead of solder on your work. So you don't need more flux, and you definitely don't need more solder. What you need to do is just clean up what you have, because there's probably plenty there.
Okay, Jen asks, I've been seeing more and more small sun catchers using a thin lead cane rather than copper foil. Mm-hmm. Will you still go through the glazing process for these?
Most people don't do the glazing process when they're using the hobby cane like that. So they're using a 5/32 lead. That's going to be the smallest. Well, no, I can't say the smallest. 1/8 inch is what they make in lead. And if you buy a 50-pound box of 1/8 inch lead, it's probably got 250 pieces of lead. You better be doing a lot of sun catchers. But yeah, so they're not doing that. They're not puttying them because they're not interested in the lead sticking to the glass, because there's really nothing there to it. However, if they are using that really small lead cane, they are excellent glass cutters, guys. And they're making it fit nice because you have no room for error whatsoever. I would stick with, for sun catchers, I would stick with the copper foil method, just because they're easier to clean, and they're gonna, and that's what people are looking for, is the copper foil method at the shows and things like that for your sun catchers. So.
Okay.
The hobby came's a little, now I can't say anything because Barbara's great aunt did beautiful work using hobby cane, didn't she? Huh?
Yeah, she
everything
went with.
Yeah, everything went fine. But what we found over the years is just the way that it had to hang is that the lead would actually separate from the glass a little bit. Now we still have these pieces of her great aunt's, and we fixed them, maybe twice in the last 30 years, but that's it. So.
Okay, I Am Alan has a question.
Hey, man.
Is the poster wondering about the hazard of using soldered leaded stained glass plates or cups? Soldered leaded stained glass plates and cups? Yeah, you shouldn't use those.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just took it as colored glass, but yes, if you can't use leaded. You can't use stained glass leaded pieces.
And drink out
solder.
of them. Yeah. It's like you can't just do copper foil earrings and solder them with 50/50. You can't, it's not that you can't do it. It's just that you shouldn't do it.
Anything that touches your body, you shouldn't.
Lead-free solder. It costs a lot of money. It works a lot hotter, but they make lead-free solder for those of you that make jewelry. Even the 95.5 should not be used on jewelry. It should be lead-free. So.
Is the zinc, Alexander wants to know, is the zinc the same as hobby cane? If not, do you have any tips for hobby cane?
Well, the zinc is zinc. And the hobby cane is designed to come to you. Hobby cane comes to you in small rolls, 6 foot long, but they're rolled up, and they come in a variety of different sizes. And what they're doing with why they call it hobby cane is they're keeping you from avoiding you from having to buy a 25-pound box of lead or a 45-pound box of lead. And both of those, number one, the shipping on them is a little bit crazy, But the other thing is, unless you're doing a lot of it, it'll probably sit there in the box and oxidize, and eventually you won't be able to use it at all anyway. So by using the hobby cane, they'll send you, just get 3 rolls of hobby cane, 30 seconds if you want to try out. Excuse me. Excuse me a second. Sorry guys. So if you want to try and do the hobby cane, just get a couple different sizes, but don't buy a box of it until you're sure about how you're going to use it. And if you are using hobby cane on your sun catchers, you're always going to need to use the U cane, the U hobby cane on the outside to finish it correctly.
Okay. Another question. As a beginner, why is my solder turning black when I apply it?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if you're using a rheostat for your soldering iron, but it sounds to me you're not, because you're getting a bunch of trash on the tip of your soldering iron, and which tells me that it's running too hot, and you're using too much flux, and you're watch some of our videos about soldering and things like that, and how to use the rheostat. It's imperative that you do that, and I promise you, if you don't have a rheostat, go to our website, go to the shopping page, pick up one of the Leponet rheostats, and you'll find that your work will change. All you have to do is just plug something in, and your work's going to change. So you're going to work on around 7.5 or 8, depending on the humidity and the dampness and cold air and everything. So do everything that you can. But yeah, so it sounds to me, if you're, and it could be, I don't know what solder you're using, but the solder will have a lot of trash in it too and turn things black. But it sounds to me, you're soldering, you're not taking the time to clean the tip in between, maybe, every now and then. And to clean it, all you do is go whoosh, whoosh, on a damp sponge. You don't need to give it a bath or wash it or anything. Just zip it, let it heat back up for about 20 seconds and go back to work. So I hope that answers your question, but we do have some videos that will help you with that project. So go back, take a look at the videos that we have available for soldering and all of that. And thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it.
Did you, Karen thinks that you should tell everybody about keeping your scoring tools clean. Do we have something here that we can show them that?
I don't have a needle here. So, hey guys, let me just tell you a story. How about that? Story time. Karen brought it up. So this weekend.
Blame Karen.
Thanks, Karen. So this weekend, Karen has a couple different cutters in her tool arsenal, and that's great. I think that's awesome, because I do too. We're gonna talk about 5 of them later on. But so Karen has these tools, but she's like, well, this cutter here, it's dragging. So I'm gonna just go to another color. I said, it's dragging. Let me see that thing. And I looked down inside of it. Okay, in between the wheel there, underneath the wheel, but in that little hole where the wheel turns.
Do you want a close up?
Yeah.
Will that help?
See that little slot right there? And so I looked at Karen's and I said, "Oh my gosh, you can't even see through that. It's filthy." She said, "What do you mean it's filthy?" It's filthy. So because you have your cutter, oh, here it is. So this is my cutter. You guys recognize my little bit of solder on near the head here. So what I found is that, and mine's good and dirty. Boy, if I had a needle, it would be awesome.
A needle? Do you need? Can you use a paper clip?
Yeah, paper clip.
Okay, I'll be right back.
All right, so Barb's going to get us a paper clip, and I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show it to you again, because here's the thing, y'all. Even if you take the time to clean your glass really well before you cut it, you're always going to pick up trash. You're going to have dust in the air. I keep my glass cutter in my pocket, so I'm getting lint. You know what I'm saying? But if you take the time, if your cutter starts messing up, the first thing you ought to do is just clean the wheel itself, clean the head. And it's not that big of a deal to do it, but I'm going to show you once we get, I'm going to take a paper clip. Now, a little straight pin that comes from like this shirt or something when you get a new shirt helps, but I'm just gonna push this out of here. Put me on a close-up, Mark. Okay. You see that? You know what that is? That's your cutter not working. That's what that is. Look at this. That's your cutter not working, guys. Here we go. Hold on, Barb. I got a whole pile of stuff I'm going to show. Now, I just cut a bunch of tabletops last week. And guess what? I can see through there now. See the light coming through? Look, right there. So here's the thing. That little bit of trash is a lot of trash. And if you'll, Karen was like, oh, I didn't even know that was going to be it. And if you'll take the time to take it out, remove it, then, hey, this could be the problem why your cutter wheel's dragging. So make sure once you take that out, go ahead and dip it in your little paper towel and your can full of oil. Get a little bit of oil on it because that pin that the wheel rides around on is very, very sensitive, and that needs to stay lubricated. So anyway, hey, there's some trash that comes out of your glass cutting wheel under the wheel. Get rid of it, and that'll help you a lot when you're cutting, when you're cutting. So I hope that helps. Just a little, and thanks for mentioning that, Karen. This is a little trick I showed the gang this weekend. So.
Yeah, okay. Ray wants to know if we have a catalog online. We have online shopping pages on conwayglass.com. That's what all we have is what's right there on conwayglass.com shopping page. Okay, holy cow, Ed. When did you last clean your cutter?
Hey, that was probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago.
When was the last time you cleaned your cutter? Yeah, it was a while back. It's been really dusty and everything back there too.
Yeah.
I can't remember what
well,
was so
we
dusty.
were cutting those. Remember I was telling you guys we were cutting those thick tabletop or those shelving for the comic book store.
Yeah.
So not only did we were cleaning them, but we were also now we're picking up dust because we actually cut those pieces of glass were so big we couldn't get them into the shop, so we cut them on the side of the truck. So even though we were trying to get some of the desiccant off, which is what they slide on so they don't scratch, it's almost microscopic sand, or not sand, but it's a desiccant bead, and so even though we wiped them off to try and get as much of it off as we can, you see how much was in my cutter. So anyway, just a quick little trick for you guys to not get disappointed with your glass cutter. Clean it out first.
Yeah, because they last a long time. Okay, are we ready? Did we get all the questions for right now? I think we're pretty much caught up. What is Y came for? I'm not sure. Y came?
Why, King?
Don't know. Never heard of it. How often do you change the cutter wheel?
I don't. This is 25 years. I clean the dirt out of it, but this is 25 years. This cutter right here. This cutter wheel and this cutter head.
Question. Ed, I like to cut the hair on my flux brush in half so I don't use much flux. Yeah, that's what we do.
That's it, Les. Cut it down to about 1/4 of an inch tall. That's it.
And then you can tell the difference between your flux brush and your patina brush.
And leave your patina brush wiggly.
Brushes. That's what I do.
Yeah, no, that's how Barbara does it. She sets it up for the class that way too. So your patina brush should be all brushy and like a bushy flame, but your flux brush should be short and stiff so that you don't use more flux than you need. It almost measures it itself for you, Les. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight, buddy. I hope you guys are well over there.
Okay. No, that's not the Silberschnitt 4,000. I mean, 5,000.
Yeah, the 4,000. I have the Silberschnitt 4,000 right here.
And
this one hasn't had time to get dirty yet.
That wasn't it, but it's very similar.
It's similar to it. This is the 4,000 here, and I don't know if you can see that, but But when you look through my cutter wheel on the 4000, it's just as clean. It's nothing but net. It goes right down to the white paper. So this one, you can clean it the same way because it's not going to hurt anything. But that cutter that I was using, that is your basic standard brass handle pencil grip
Toyo
Super Cutter from
with the TC10.
Yeah, when they were, I don't even know. These cutters used to be like $14.
Yeah, and we have them on our Amazon page, and when you see them, they're gray, and then when you use them,
but they're solid brass.
Paint comes off, and you can see the brass.
And after 25 years, it becomes a brass handled Super Cutter.
Okay, MB.
Hey, I hope your leg's doing well.
I was given a lot of glass that has been picking up the gunk anyway.
Yeah, and if you need to, really, warm soapy water, wash it and get actually the Dawn will probably cut the pine pine pollen a lot easier, and you probably need to even wash it a couple times. But
be careful.
Anyway, if your cutter starts goofing up, now you know how to fix it.
Okay, what brand of grinder do you prefer? That's from Alicia.
I prefer, now that we were able to purchase one, the grinder, the big one. The one with the straight edge on it, the one with the light on the top, the magnification, eye protection, and more than anything, boom, the quick fit grinder bit. Oh man, that's as easy as putting a plug in the back of your John boat. That's how easy that is. So when you change that grinder bit, the grinder, you like the grinder?
The grinder, yes.
I mean, we have for students, we have Glass Stars, we have Inlands, but the one that we use in our working studio is the grinder. So.
Okay, I think we're ready for glass chat.
Okay.
Or a demo.
Yeah, we could do a demo. I'm gonna show you just the different cutters that I have, and just kind of we're gonna do something now. This pattern that I'm gonna show you, we're putting this on our website later on this week. It's not gonna go up there tomorrow. It's not. This is this week's a little bit nutty, but anyway.
Don't say this week because I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, so it might not even be this week, but I want to share this with you because here's the thing, guys. This is what I'm thinking. It's February, right? Mid-February. You got March, April. The shows are getting ready to start. You guys that do your shows, your small shows, your weekends, your Saturday, your Sunday. This is just a little something extra for you to take this year, and hopefully it'll help your bottom line. It's a very simple pattern. It's great for both beginners and those of you that do the shows, because you know you've got to have something in your tent for everybody. So hopefully this will be something that one person or maybe that 35 or 40 people might like if it's done correctly. So let me share this with you. It's a very simple design, and we are going to put it on our website because we want you to have it.
That's just a fun little thing.
It's just a fun little thing.
We've had it on there.
I think we've talked about this before.
And we've had it on there before, I think.
So what I've done is, because this doesn't fit anywhere, it fits itself. I'm not going to cut my pattern out. I'm going to leave it on my piece of paper. I'm going to pretend like I'm cutting my glass on the light box.
This is a fun way to use up your scratch.
So I just grabbed, this is all from this past weekend, okay? So we're just going to do some really simple cuts. And so let's start out with our Silver Schnitt 2000. And we're just going to, now remember, you all know Ed doesn't like, lots of glass hanging around. So here we go. Oh, listen to that. That's the 2000. And now I'll grab my Silver Schnitts, my runners, and we'll put that on there. So now that I have this cut, I want you to see. Now when you're doing your copper foil pattern and you're putting your paper pattern on and you're tracing around the glass, I want to explain to you that using the light box is no different, except you're not cutting the pattern paper out. You're just laying your glass directly on the pattern, and you're going to stay focused up against, not on it, not in it, but up against your line, okay? You're going to stay focused on that. So now I'm going to use my Lepinette runners. Okay, so now y'all can see that this is blue, but when I lift it up, you see what it's doing. Okay, so now we're talking all about every little thing that's happening here. So now we're going to do this is our red, and we're going to do a small piece of red up here, trying to keep us in the middle. Okay, a little bit of runners. We don't need a big piece, so we'll take that over. So this is our Silberschnitt 4000. And here we go. Silberschnitt 4000. I want you to listen to this. Now with this one, because the angle, oh, there we go. See, the angle is back this way and the screw head's back this way? I prefer to put the screw head away from me. Just like that. And I want you guys, again, whether you're working on your patterns from your paper, or if you're working on your light box, you stay against your black line. Now, even though I've got to grind this, I got to foil it, and it's going to take up a little bit of room. So when it takes up that little tiny bit of room for me, it's still going to end up not being any bigger than what it is. So here we go. Going to put that right there. This is a beautiful little green. I almost wore a shirt this color tonight. Now this has just a tiny little bit of curve. And you guys that are watching this, you know and I know this can be done much faster. But it's not about fast. It's about what it looks like when it's going to be finished. Okay, so we got that. So green, and now we're going to go to a yellow iridized. And we're going to put this up top here. And I'm going to cut it with my personal glass cutter. Just like that, okay? So now we're going to take this. Now you see this little spot here. That's where our hanger's eventually going to go. And when you're doing this pattern, these are just little pieces of the tail. You can make this tail look any way that you want. I got it. I made the tail like that because, when I was a little boy, we used to just tear a sheet that was bad, and we'd tear it, and that was our kite tail, because you always needed that little bit of weight on the kite so that it would fly correctly. Used to have so much fun with kites. Used to get told to go fly a kite quite often. So anyway, let me just show you this. This is very simple. And the other thing is I like mixing up the colors on my kite. Okay? So there we go. So now, hold on. I've got to put this away. I love these little tubes for my glass cutters. I can put it away. Just like that. Okay, so now what I want to show y'all, though, is this. So after a little bit of cutting some tails out, grinding, foiling, some soldering, and then some 18 gauge wire, this is what we get, y'all.
It's cute.
Okay, so give me the main camera, Barb, please.
And that looks so cute in your
So
booth.
I'm going to hang that up. So that would look really cute hanging outside your booth in the corner, and several of them in different colors. So we'll get this put on our website for you guys to check it out. And I mean,
it'll be free for a couple days. We'll let you know when it's up so you guys can get it for free before it goes on sale.
Yeah, it'll be on free. We're not all about the money, guys. You know, we're trying to help everybody, and we're trying to do a channel that's helping you learn how to do stained glass and answer the questions that should be answered.
Yeah, we're doing this for you guys. And let's see. I had a couple of questions. Mary Kay asked, I'm going to try a box. I've ordered the brass tubing for the hinge. What kind of nippers do I use to cut the brass?
Okay, go to the video of the hinge, the box, because you don't use nippers. Because what happens with the nippers, because you're cutting tubes, you actually need to file a line in the tube and then you break the tube. There's a video that explains to you how to do that safely and correctly.
And those files are on our Amazon page.
And you'll need those. They're jeweler's files.
I think, Ray, they're either under the gadgets.
I think they're under the
cutting tools or the gadgets. I'm not sure which one. But they're little files, little tiny files.
So a set of little 6-inch files, and they're jeweler's files, but they're sharp on the edges. So you have to. So this is your tube, and you need 2 inches of it. You have to file it right there.
Otherwise, it bends.
And then you bend it over and up, and it comes apart, and then you file it clean. Okay. So, and then the other little trick, and it came from one of our viewers, which I think it's so awesome. That viewer builds boxes, and their way of keeping the solder out of the hinge on the end before the box lid is applied was to put toothpicks inside the hole. Awesome.
We'll be redoing that video to include that tip.
To include that tip, that's right, because it's so cool, you know.
Okay. There was another question. I'm looking through the questions. Christine says, I thought when you cut glass, you have to start the cut at the edge of the glass.
Not necessarily. It just depends on the way I cut. Like the way I cut that piece of green, I cut it too narrow to start it down at the edge. But you don't necessarily have to. It's always best for breaking purposes to start at the edge, or at least finish at the edge, so that when you are finished, that you can break it back from the other end. Because I'm a big fan of taking. I mean, you can start here cutting. You know, let me see. So I mean, if you want to, you can start right here. But a lot of times, you know, you know, even here I came down pretty close. But if I don't want to do that, or I can't because I don't have the right amount of glass, doing something like that, I will start right here, just like that. Now this is my Thompson palm grip cutter here. This one, if our Julie Graves likes it, Karen has one in her arsenal. She likes it.
But you saw how he cut that. He closed that cut. It wasn't like that cut was just hanging out there for
No, I closed it. Yeah.
Yeah, he closed it with the other cut, so he had a complete.
And I still didn't run over top of my score. And you know, we had that question Saturday. You can go to the main camera, I guess, please. You can go to our. We had that question Saturday. Sometimes you have to go over top of a score, but you don't go. All you do, you're just crossing, you're changing lanes. You're not going over top of the score per se, running over to scoring it twice. You're not doing that. So,
do we have any videos on decorative wire?
No, I tell you something about the pretend wire is, you know, you can set up little jigs with nails that you can bend your wire around. This stuff is so pliable. You can do a lot of things with it. And like I said, this is the 18 gauge here. And I did that because I put 5 tails on it, and this is pretty heavy. So you can use a smaller gauge. And then the other thing is just like this. You know, you can put that there, and you can round that up again if that's what I'll put it on my
It's
black
fun
shirt.
to work with.
Wire is so much fun to work with. And if you want to put a marble in this, you wrap it up even more, and then you pull the center out, drop the marble in, and then close it, wrap the top around. So anyway, just a little something to tell you about.
Okay. Another question.
Hey.
Carol R. Question.
Hey, Carol.
When making lots of little sun catchers, do you cut and finish each piece, or do you cut lots of
Lots
each
and lots,
piece and then put them all together?
Production.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. Set up a little
Quickest
line.
way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10 at a time. 10's a good number.
Yeah, 10's a good number.
And even jewelry boxes, 10's a good number on boxes too.
What would you charge for the kite?
This kite right here in our store is $38.
Okay. Ed's got skills that he can start in the middle of the glass, Magali said. That's what Magali says. Okay.
Thanks, Magali. You're too kind.
She is. Okay. Now, do we have any more questions? We'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah,
Tell me, you were looking at some other places today as far as you came across a company that we ordered from many.
Oh,
many,
yeah,
many,
gosh,
many, many
my father, and he's
years
been
ago.
gone for like 26 years now. But Dad, he found this company up. They're actually in Massachusetts, okay? And the name of the company is Whittemore Durgan, okay? WHITTEMOORE Durgan. And they're just like, they have the most unusual stuff. They're still open, they're in business. And so if you're looking for a supplier that has some unusual stuff,
you want to be entertained.
And you want to be entertained. It's quite the website. But they're really, and their catalog is downloadable, so you can just like print it out and look at it. Their catalog needs to be updated a little bit, but I've noticed going around the country with all the different suppliers, a lot of people still haven't pulled all their glass star down yet, but they may also have some in inventory still. That's why they haven't pulled it down. So, but anyway, so check them out. That's Whittemore Durgan. And then there's a company out in California that has been around for a long time that we've been buying from too. And the name of their company is Franciscan Art Glass. And they're down in Southern California. But Franciscan Art Glass, we've been purchasing from them for years. And then, of course, don't forget, you have Franklin Art Glass in Ohio. Everybody, and then you have Sunshine. So there's several different suppliers around the area. Try not to lock yourself just into one, because they all offer a lot of the same things, but they all have their own little niches that they can apply to as well.
And we're going to be doing things a little bit different each Monday night. On Mondays, Ed's going to be calling around and saying, hey, what's your solder price? What's your copper foil price? Yeah. And we're going to try to get you...
We're going to try and get you some good numbers.
Get you some good numbers and let you know where the best prices
are. So like
are.
we're talking about Whittemore Durgan. They've got Edco solder on sale. Less than $11.40 some cents for 732nd Blackback Edco. I looked at that today. I was like, whoa, that's good.
And they have it.
And they have the Amerway, and they also have the white metals. So for their solder, and they carry the Camfield as well. So anyway, yeah. So it's Whittemore Durgan, and they're up in Boston. So if you're up in that area, that's kind of a quick way to get things. Those of you that are in California and coming back to the Midwest, Franciscan is a good place, and definitely up in Ohio will be Franklin Art Glass. They're real easy to work with. And what I'm going to tell you right now, and this is awesome, is that even though Kokomo isn't doing production fast enough to ship crates of glass to suppliers, you can buy direct from the factory if you have the part number. What does that mean? That means invest in a sample box of $150, $175, whatever they are, so that you know the part numbers and you can go now directly to the manufacturers. Same way with Wismac. You don't have to go to a supplier. You just have to have a way to get it, either go pick it up or you pay the motor freight. They're not cutting it up. You got to buy it in sheets. But I'm going to tell you, if you can swing it, go directly to the manufacturer. Again, you need a part number. You know, we all know that Wismac Glass makes 15 different textures in all of their transparent glasses. So go figure that. That stuff's gorgeous, y'all. And so anyway, those things, you are not limited to just one supplier, just like we're not. And
so we're gonna
help you out.
We're gonna help you out. So we're gonna find you the best deals out there on the most used products. So the foil, the lead, the patinas,
All
things
that
like
stuff.
that, the things that you use all the time. Those are the supplies you need to buy all the time. We're gonna find those best deals. For you.
So like when you
because
go,
we have
when
contacts
you do,
with all of them.
Yeah, when you call Franklin, Garrett is their glass guy, not Gary, not Garnet. Garrett. Garrett is Franklin's glass guy, and he knows it all. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of like Sean up at Sunshine, and you know, and they all have their right there in their head, and so keep an eye.
All great companies, but we want to find the best thing they got going.
Yeah, we're going to find the best thing that we got going, and you know, those of you that are purchasing your Silberschnitts online, these pliers are manufactured in Germany, so we all know the Germans are really good machinists, so that's why these things work so well. But I want to let you know that Bohle, B-O-H-L-E, Bohle is the main branches in Germany, but in this country, they're out of Charlotte, and they're called Bohle America. And so we purchase ultraviolet epoxies from them. We purchase laminating products from them.
Who has the best pricing on the wood framing?
Franklin Art Glass 20. If you can buy 10 sticks, it's a good price. Yeah.
Franklin. Yeah,
Franklin.
I just found that out. Okay.
Yeah, Franklin's
That's
got
a
the
good
best
question,
price.
Julie.
Yeah, because hey, I the last thing that I bought, the wood I bought from Franklin, and I shopped. I went 3 different places. I don't always have time to do that, but now I don't have to do it anymore. I just call and say, hey, redo that order for me, please. Here's my credit card. Have a nice day. Thank you. They are so helpful.
When we find it out, we'll share it with
Yeah,
you
and
guys.
once you get it set up, I don't know what that was, but it's going now.
I know there's something.
I got him. So, I mean, you know, once I find something out, I'm going to share it with you guys. We have no secrets, okay? Hey, if you can take my business from me, you can buy it from me.
Hey.
Whatever, have at it. Yeah, I got a lot to do, and if you want a lot to do too, then stick with it for 40 years. That's right, get with it.
After 30 years, you'll have that too. No.
Yeah, no, it's all
Hopefully
good,
you'll have
y'all.
a lot before
We're here
then
to help
because
y'all.
we're here to share everything we know with you for your
There are no
success.
secrets, and that was so funny because this weekend in the class, Barb, Terry, who's been doing stained glass for a long time, I tell you how long she's been watching the channel, and I just had a laugh. She remembers when we were trying to get 100 subscribers.
Cool, right?
Cool, right? So Terry, and she says, nobody will tell you anything, and that's because y'all, it's all secretive. It is. It's top secret, CIA material, but it's really not. So Barb and I will share our secrets with you, and we'll share along with you guys, our viewers, sharing your secrets with other viewers, and together we're going to make it all happen.
Oh, did I miss any questions? Let me know if I missed any questions so we can grab them here at the end. I did see a couple more come in. There was a question about
Sometimes Barbara scrolls, so if I can't even see it.
yeah,
that's
and so many
fast.
came in there at the end, but there was a question up higher about if you have a difficult piece. Did we answer that? If we have a difficult piece and you can't cut it, can you make that into 2 or 3 pieces in your pattern instead of the one difficult piece that you're trying to cut? Can you change the pattern?
You can change the pattern, but what you want to do is don't make it obvious.
That's all.
Just
Just
don't make
change
it
it.
obvious. That's all. Change it, white it out, start that little section again, but just change it so that it's not, so that it, and I see it all the time, and is that they just stick a line in there, and you know what it looks like? it looks like you just stuck a line in there.
Okay, don't do that.
Don't do that. Go ahead and redraw it and make it flow. Just change it so that it's much easier. Because right now you're saying to yourself, who drew this? You did. We say it all the time.
Yeah, and when you're drawing your pattern, keep that in mind. Can I cut this?
Right. Because, I have, and some of you viewers may have had this problem too, is when you're doing copper foil, you don't have it at all. But when you're doing lead, you may have to take 3 or 4 pieces out, roll them around, put another piece in, and then roll everything back around it because you drew it so that you technically couldn't get to it any other way but cutting it or pulling it apart to put it back together. So you did that yourself. You did that to yourself. So try not to do it too often.
And don't be too hard on yourself.
And don't be hard on yourself because it happens to everyone.
Rick says, sometimes I score and break a piece of glass. There is a divot in the side on the bottom edge. What am I doing wrong? Well,
are you running Rick? Are you running that where the divot is on it with your running pliers? Because if you are, your running pliers just need to be moved over. If it's putting a divot in the underside, your running pliers are either to one side or the other. They're to the opposite side that the divot is.
Check the line in the top of your running pliers. Sometimes they're off center, right?
Yeah.
And they're not on there right. We noticed
that sometimes that lines. I noticed it a couple times ago on another pair of pliers that. I don't notice it on the Lepinette so much because that line is put in there at the factory,
right? Yeah. But okay. Can you cut bevels like regular glass?
Yes, just cut them on the back side, on the flat side.
On the flat side.
And be careful when because once you cut them, because you're going to take a little bit off of them. What you need to do then is you'll use your running pliers on the bevels. And then you'll need to put some painter's tape on it on the back side so that you can grind it without scratching it. Don't forget that.
Okay.
Because they're soft.
Annette wants to know if you can buy Wismac by the pound at the warehouse. Ray has put a link to the Wismac website. So go there.
Yeah, give them a call because I'm not sure how they do their scrap,
Annette, go to the website and maybe it'll say there. If not, you'll be able to grab that telephone number and you can give them a call tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. And maybe some people here know, but I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. We're talking with the higher ups at Wismac right now about finding all that information for you. So.
Okay, guys, it was great to see everyone this week.
It's 8:02. Everybody heard Miss Mary snark when she came by.
Miss Mary's ready to go home. She's tired, and
it's raining. And we have another 7 hours of rain tonight here.
You guys stay safe tonight. I hope the weather doesn't come your way. The bad weather isn't coming your way, but if it is, stay safe tonight. We love y'all.
Thank you so much for tuning in tonight, and don't forget your silver snit rubber bumpers are easy to switch over. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Spring is coming. Let's go fly a kite, everybody.
Valentine's Day's coming.
I know Valentine's is coming this Wednesday, and guess what? Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Y'all. Thank you for tuning in.
I'm trying to find the thank you members. Bye bye.